Hey guys, welcome to my new movie review for The Lion King. Thought I'd do something different today and mixed it up and take advantage of sitting with these beautiful animals and just chilling out. So I'm guessing you're here to find out what my thoughts were on this incredibly, ridiculously rebooted masterpiece. Well, I'm about to tell you. So the first thing I want to say, guys, about this movie that blew my mind beyond comprehension in any way, shape or form, that it just, it was so difficult to not realize that this was completely CGI. I literally cannot express that enough. This movie looks so real. So real. Now, I have to say, there was a scene in this movie to do with the elephants, and that probably was one of the only scenes in this entire movie that made me go, oh, okay. It was almost like, not rendered correctly, but just, I could almost tell that was one of the only scenes that I could sort of see that it wasn't real. Now, I'm going to tell you something about this movie right at the end that I really, it just didn't gel with me the way I wanted it to. And I was quite surprised about that. I was really surprised, but I obviously wanted it to. Man, this movie is going to make so much money. This movie is going to make so much money. People are literally going to flock to see this masterpiece. 100%. This movie is so good. The beginning of it is just, the opening is, I honestly would like to say this, but I don't know if it is, but it isn't. It honestly, and the fact that the original movie goes for an hour and a half and this went for 2 hours, I actually couldn't tell personally. That half an hour or whatever they added to this movie, I personally couldn't even tell what they added, because to me, it felt like shot for shot remake. It really did. And that to me was exactly what I was after, personally. I was wanting Jon Favreau, who directed this film, to literally make a movie that was the animated movie visually brought to life. And that's exactly what he did. Now, if anyone's not aware, James Earl Jones is the only one in this entire cast that actually reprised his role. One of the things that I found really interesting about his character is that the voice was very different. Well, not very different, but it wasn't, to me, it didn't sound like the young James Earl Jones. Not in a bad way, it just was really different. Not in a bad way, but I could almost not recognize him as much as I did in the original, whereas in the original he was Darth Vader as well, so it was so obvious that it was him. Guys, this movie is so visually pristine, and I mean that in any way. It's visual masterpiece is, I don't even know, I don't even understand how they did it. I actually do know how they did it. I don't know if I should tell you though, because if you really want to know of the makings and stuff, will obviously be out one day. But I have been told how they made this movie, and the way they did it completely blows my mind in every way, shape or form. Really quickly, what didn't sit right with me about this movie, and I really wanted to express this as much as I possibly can without making the movie look bad, okay? I need to say this. I loved this movie. I absolutely love this movie. It blew my mind at how authentic they kept to the script, how incredibly is everything about this movie, guys, is just magnificent. And I don't know if this is nitpicking what I'm about to tell you. I really don't know if it's nitpicking, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Something that didn't sit right with me about this movie, and this was probably the only thing. Yeah, it was. It was the only thing, and it just, and I'll tell you why in a second, but it just didn't, it made me go, it just, there was something about it that I'll tell you in a sec that made me go, yeah, nah, it's not, the original actor. And that is young Simba. Don't get me wrong, he was wonderful, especially when he sang I Just Can't Wait to Be King. Especially when he sang that. That was, oh my gosh, that was amazing. But I felt like, and this is a really weird thing to say, okay? I know it is, but in my way of thinking, this is kind of the best way to describe how he sounded to me. He sounded almost ghetto. Like some of the words he used and some of the stuff he said almost sounded ghetto, like he was being ghetto. And I was like it just rubbed me up a little bit wrong. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Jonathan Taylor Thomas, who was the original Simba, young Simba, he was really innocent and really sweet and really kind and just really, really young. It just sounded like that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this version of Simba, he almost didn't sound young. Like he sounded young in his vocal cords, but just the way he spoke, he sounded like he was hood. Like, I know that sounds so weird, and I hope I'm not dogging out this movie. Please, please, please don't get me wrong. I love this movie so, so much, but he was the only thing in this movie. I mean, Scar? What the heck? Like, I don't know if you know, but Chiwetel Ejiofor, who plays Scar, he actually, in real life, has an extremely thick accent, and you literally, watching this movie, couldn't even tell that was Chiwetel Ejiofor. Like, at all. Like, for real. You could not tell it was him. When Beyonce Knowles' character Nala comes in, it's like it almost, in a funny way, it kind of flips the movie. Like, it's really, really fun, but then it flips the movie to a really, really beautiful, almost romantic. I know that's a weird thing to say about lions, but almost a romantic movie, like literally. Because just thinking about it, it was just like they just shifted it to just a beautiful style. I cannot tell you, Timon and Pumbaa, especially Timon. I loved Pumbaa, but especially Timon. This little guy right here. He, for me, killed it. He smashed the movie. He was, to me, was the best in the movie. Seriously, he owned the role. I think it's mainly because I didn't really know who that actor was. I don't really know who that guy is, but I mean, him and Seth Rogen's chemistry was just perfected. It was just incredible. I mean, I know you would have watched this film, the casting and all that stuff. Jon Favreau, they would have just had the biggest field day with this movie. Guys, if you are interested to know how this movie is made, if you'd like me to explain it, leave a like on this video. I'd really appreciate that. Really, leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll genuinely do a video on how this movie was made, because I feel like you can find it on the internet, and I don't really want to tell people, because I don't feel like that's my place. Anyway, and I'll let you go and let these guys have a little bit more of a nap. Hope you appreciated this. I hope you liked my little setup here, hanging out with Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa. And until my next review, which actually might possibly be Apollo 11. because that's out in cinemas now, and I'm really interested to see that. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and Akuna Matata.